Alright, so your 3D models look too clean, too perfect. Guess what? Nobody is buying it. Your clients want realism and fake dust just screams amateur hour. But what if I told you there is a way to generate hyper-realistic dust with just a few clicks? No more guesswork, no more faking it. Enter Bifrost, Maya's secret weapon. In this video I'm gonna show you how to create dust so good it looks like you pull it straight out of reality, and I will break down why this technique will level up your 3D game. Welcome back to Primary VFX, I'm your host Scarf, and if you are tired of basic tutorials and want next level pro tricks, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get dusty right now! Alright, let's kick things off. If we are going to create some jaw-dropping dust effects, we need a killer model to start with. And what's better than eating up ArtStation Marketplace? Seriously, it's a goldmine. So, I was hunting for something vintage, a real classic. And boom, I found this Canon Auto Zoom 814 by none other than William Fiorentini, a CG generalist at ILM. If you haven't checked out his portfolio yet, do it. The guy's got insane skills, especially with environments. Let's jump over to the store tab and take a closer look at this model. I mean, look at it. This thing is beautiful. Every detail, every edge. It's practically screaming, put some dust on me. So yeah, I'm going with this one. Let's buy it, download it, and dive in. Here we are in Maya. And damn, this model is clean. The details are insane. Everything from the geometry to the tiny text. Plus, it's all quads, super clean topology, and production ready. Huge shout out to William for crafting this masterpiece. Now, let's crack open the UV editor for a quick check. Look at that. Everything is neat, split by materials, and perfectly laid out in UDIM. Each row is a different material type, which is a dream for texturing. And in the outliner, it's all organized and tidy. Trust me, this kind of structure saves your team a world of pain down the line. Clean assets like this, they're a lifesaver in production. Alright, the perfect model's ready. Next we'll define the mood with killer lighting. And look dev, stay tuned, you're gonna love what's coming next. Alright, let's dive into the look dev scene. First up, let's check out the camera setup. I've gone with a low angle shot to really emphasize the boldness and presence of this vintage beauty. And for that cinematic vibe, I've set the focal length to 80mm. Nice and tight, just the way we want it. Now onto the lighting setup. It's a classic 3-point light rig, an HDRI for the base lighting, a right field light, a left key light, a top light for highlights, and of course we've got a backdrop to tie it all together. Let's jump back to the camera, fire up the IPR, and see what we are working with. I wanted a dramatic shot that screams vintage elegance while showing off the beauty of this model. Next up, we're getting our hands dirty, literally. Don't skip this. Alright, time to get dirty, literally. Let's start modeling some realistic dust and grime. First, create a plane, scale it up, freeze transforms, delete history, and center the pivot. Boom! Now, let's slap a material on it. Plug in a dust reference image, out color to color, and apply that material to the plane. Quick tip, create a display layer and toss the plane in there. This locks it down, so we can model on top without accidentally moving it. Oh, and ditch the specular color in the shader. We don't want that glare messing with us. Switch to the top view and let's sketch out some air fibers. Grab the pencil curve tool and draw a few loose curvy shapes. Quick and dirty. 1, 2, maybe 3 curves to start. Now, let's take those curves and hit them with a sweep mesh modifier. Apply it to each curve. Scale the profile to a low value. Crank up the precision and check the optimize box. Repeat the process for all your curves until they are looking just right. Next up, grime time. Create another plane and deform it into the shape of the dirt patches in your texture. Make a few variations. Some small, some medium, and a couple of big boys. Tweak their shapes and get that organic vibe. Once you're happy, select everything, snap it to the center of the grid, freeze transforms, delete history, and center the pivots. Do the same for your curves. Now we can ditch the reference plane, rename the meshes, and group everything into one nice tidy group. Export the file, call it Dust and Hair MB, and you're ready to roll. The dirt's ready, now it's time to scatter it like a pro. You've got to see this. Alright, let's scatter some grime and make this camera look gloriously filthy. First up, we're going to test the process with a simple sphere. Create the sphere, and now, time for some Bifrost magic. Go to Create, Bifrost Graph. You'll see an input and output node. Cool. Next, drag your camera body geo into the Bifrost Graph editor. Boom, it creates a new node. You can ditch the default input node now. Hit Tab on your keyboard and search for scatter points. That's the art of this setup. Connect the body geo's mesh output to the geometry input of the scatter points node. Now we've got a node that controls how many points we'll scatter and where. But we're not done yet. Hit Tab again, and this time search for Set Instance Geometry. Drop that in and connect it to the scatter node. Okay, we're halfway there, but right now nothing's happening. Why? We need to tell Bifrost what geometry to scatter. Select your sphere, drag it into the graph editor and connect its mesh output to the Set Instance Geometry node. Boom! Now we've got spheres scattered all over the camera. Adjust the scatter points to get the look you want. Super easy. Next, let's bring in our dust and hair meshes. Import them, clean up the namespace for a tidy hierarchy. Start dragging them into the graph one by one. Connect each mesh as an instance geometry, and now we should start seeing the magic. But hold on. Right now, only the first dust mesh is showing up. Why? We are missing one key node. Hit Tab, search for Randomize Selection by Probabilities, and connect it between the Instance Geometry node and scatter points. This node lets us control how often each mesh appears. Set different probabilities for each dust and air variation until it looks just right. Want more dust? Crank up the probabilities. Want less hair? Tone it down. Now let's add some realism with randomized rotation and scale. Search for Randomize Point Rotation and Randomize Point Scale and drop them between the Scatter node and the Random Selection node. Adjust these settings to get that organic, messy vibe. Once the setup is looking solid, crank up the scatter points to 100,000 units. Boom, you've got the world's dustiest, grimiest camera. Okay, maybe too much air. Dial that back in the probabilities node. Fire up the IPR to check the results. Look at that. The fibers, dirt and grime are scattered beautifully, giving our vintage camera all the weathered charm it deserves. Now, in the final part, after I've rendered this beauty, let's analyze some killer compositing in After Effects. Don't let this slip by. Alright, it's time to wrap this up with some killer compositing. Let's break it down. First off, I started with a beauty reconstruction using all the passes. Tweaked the transmission slightly to give the lens some extra contrast. And on the specular highlights, I masked out the top of the camera to tone them down. Subtle, but effective. Next, I worked on the beauty mask for the camera, applying contrast and curves adjustments to make it pop. Added a couple of masks to darken the background slightly for that moody vibe. Now, back to the main comp. This is where the dust magic shines. The dust pass sits on its own layer, packed with insane detail. It's working beautifully, but I did add an adjustment layer with exposure tweaks and a mask to dial back the dust on some of the plastic parts where it was overdone. Balance is key. Then came the cinematic touches. Depth of field for that creamy focus. Chromatic aberration, just a whisper of it, because too much ruins the vibe. A vignette to pull the viewer's eye to the center. A lot for that cinematic vintage Kodak film look. Added a subtle green tint to seal the deal. And finally grain on top to make it feel authentic and polished. And that's it, the final render. Look at that dusty, grungy beauty. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Did you dig this process? Got questions? Let me know.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, you know what to do. Subscribe to my channel for more awesomeness. And I see you guys in the next video.